were to close your eyes and imagine that it's maybe mid-July and you decide to go out to the beach with your friends, so you go and you hang out, you play in the ocean for a while, you lay down on your towel, maybe you fall asleep in the sun, and then when you get home, you realize you didn't wear any sunscreen. Now, if you're anything like me, that means that you're going to be as red as a tomato for the next few days. That's because exposure to the sun can cause sunburn, especially for people with fair skin tones, light hair, and light eyes. But people with all different skin tones can get damage from sun exposure. Skin cancer is actually the most widespread type of cancer in the United States. It affects more people than lung cancer or any other type of cancer, and anyone can get it. Skin cancer is caused by prolonged exposure to UV rays, which are ultraviolet rays. You can get these just from exposure to the sun outside or from going to tanning beds. Either one can cause it. There are two different types of ultraviolet rays. There are UVA rays, which are longer, and they can cause premature aging. So they cause wrinkles, leathery skin, sagging, and age spots. And then there are UVB rays, which are a little bit more dangerous because they are shorter in length and they cause your severe sunburns. And these rays, they cause the three different types of skin cancer. There's basal cell carcinoma and squamous cell carcinoma, which compromise 95% of all the skin cancer prognoses in the United States. And then the other 5% is made up of melanoma, which also causes 75% of the deaths from skin cancer in the United States. Skin cancer from sun exposure cumulatively is usually basal or squamous cancer. So that means like when you hang out in the sun for a while, tanning, this will cause those two types of cancers, which if caught early can be treated and are usually not fatal. Whereas melanoma is caused by severe sunburns, usually under the age of 18. So if you get a sunburn, if you've gotten a sunburn severely any point in your life before now, like in college, you are much more likely to get melanoma later on in life. And the best way to prevent skin cancer is obviously just, stay inside, don't get exposed to the sun, but no one wants to do that. So the second best way would be to wear sunscreen. Sunscreen is it's a combination of different chemicals such as zinc that acts as a shield to protect your skin and prevent UV rays from reaching it. When you buy your sunscreen, most sunscreens have an SPF number on it. SPF stands for Sun Protection Factor, but what most people don't know is what this number stands for. SPF 15, say, means that if my skin starts to get really red and burn if I only spend 20 minutes out in the sun, if I had put SPF 15 on, that means I multiply that 15 by the 20 minutes and I get about 5 hours worth of coverage. This is important to know because I spend a lot of time out in the sun and I get burnt easily. You should also apply your sunscreen about 30 minutes before sun exposure. So most people recommend that you put on your sunscreen when you wake up in the morning and just to make sure that you're covered for the day. Also, you should try to avoid sun exposure between the hours of 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. because this is when UV rays are at their longest point. When to wear sunscreen is pretty much every day, especially if you're over the age of 6 months. Anyone over the age of 6 months wears sunscreen all the time, and if you're under 6 months, just don't take them outside at all. Don't expose them to the sun because they're a lot more susceptible to sunburns. Sunscreen should also be reapplied after swimming, sweating, and toweling off. So if you're having a day at the beach and you just run into the water for a little bit, you need to reapply your sunscreen because it will wash off even if it is a sports wet and play sunscreen. So you should wear your sunscreen every day in order to prevent your sunburn. And personally, I have gotten sunburned so many times in my life. I know that I need to be checking myself regularly to make sure that my skin looks normal. And if it doesn't, you should always go to the doctor and have them check to make sure that you don't have skin cancer because skin cancer can cause death. So just make sure that you put on sunscreen every single day. You make sure that you reapply it after sweating or getting in the water. And make sure that if you do see any abnormalities, go to the doctor and have them check it to make sure that you are okay. Thank you, and wear your sunscreen.